Good evening, friends. Wanted to pop on here with a quick update for our latest winter weather warnings, and we have a few wind advisories, have a little bit to break down. Right now, checking in on Skycam Network Withville, if you look close enough, that camera actually shaking a little bit due to the very gusty conditions in the area. We will continue to see wind speeds increasing throughout the overnight hours. Blacksburg 27 degrees, Withville 23, Martinsville 34 right now, and Roanoke sitting at the 35-degree mark. So we are definitely on the chillier side, and we still have the potential for some winter weather this evening, or winter weather alerts. Majority of the area now in a winter weather advisory, so we have switched things up. No longer are we in the warning. Some portions in the Lynchburg zone, and as we head further into central Virginia and to Allegheny and Bath counties as well, into that warning. However, the majority of our area is still in that advisory, so we have been downgraded, and this does expire at 9 o'clock Tuesday morning. And this is just because of the potential for just a few flakes that will linger this evening, but to go along with that, the refreeze of a lot of slush out and about on the roadways tonight. That is a potential, and that is also why that advisory is still remaining in place. Now, right now, on our radar scans that we're watching, still a few very isolated instances of precip, but actually I want to pull something else up for you and take a look at our national radar. And that gives us at least a little bit better of a picture of some snow showers that are occurring. So right now, we are still seeing some snow showers in the New River Valley and Roanoke zones as well, Lynchburg zone, Lexington getting in a little bit on that snowfall action. But the bulk of the precip is out of our hair. The remaining couple of hours this evening will start to wrap things up about 9 to 10 o'clock, and we will be at least wrapping up the winter precip. Now, for the mountains of West Virginia, cannot rule out the potential for that snowfall later on this evening, but even still, that should be all gone by about midnight. Now, central Virginia and the I-95 corridor still dealing with snowfall moving through the area as the storm track heads out of the region. So again, that is the check in on the national radar, but a little bit closer to home, to go along with the snowfall that we are seeing still in some locations. We still have to keep a check on these road conditions. So although we're wrapping up the precip, or the trend is now to dry out towards Tuesday and Wednesday, the potential for that refreeze is very, very real. Road temperatures right now are still in the 20s and teens, so it is definitely cool on the roads, all below freezing for the entirety of the viewing area. And not only are those road temperatures aligning with the potential for refreeze, but road conditions, checking in on those secondary roads and those back roads, we're seeing that ice and the snowfall covered roads. But VDOT has been absolutely incredible about clearing everything in a timely manner, pre-treating everything, and continuing to treat throughout the storm system. So right now, all that purple that you're seeing on your screen is ice, and that's mainly those secondary roads, back roads, and very rural routes. So 81, at least last I have heard reports from just asking around a few people, they have said that 81 is looking pretty clear. Of course, the main drags that have been continuously being plowed are all good. But when you get towards those back roads, that's when things get a little bit slick. And of course, these next couple of evenings when we're seeing low temperatures in the teens easily each evening, teens and 20s, that is when we have that concern for refreeze each evening. So these next couple of nights will be cold, and the more slush that lingers on the roadways, the more we're having to watch out for that black ice and just those icy spots in general. So again, road conditions either a little bit icy or those blue colors you see in there, seeing a little bit of snowfall out and about still on the roads. Just something to take precaution. Stay inside if you can at all costs, unless you really need to get out and travel. Even if you are on the roadways, if you absolutely have to, be sure to take things slow. So right now, again, we were watching those few snow showers on that national radar scan. We do have the temperatures to support that accumulation in some spots. Right now in Roanoke, it is 30 degrees. Rocky Mount, 32. Lynchburg, 34. 18 in Hot Springs and 23 in Withville. So it is still on the cooler side. But not only do we have the cool temperatures, but these next couple of nights, we are going to deal with the cold conditions and very blustery conditions as this low pressure system heads out of our area. Winds this evening in Roanoke will gust up to around 30 miles an hour, sustained wind speeds 15 to 20 miles an hour through tomorrow morning. And this is across all 5 of our zones. You'll notice seeing at least those higher wind speeds into, of course, the Highlands and Roanoke zone. South side even getting up to that 30-mile-an-hour wind gust. Lynchburg about 25 miles an hour this evening. New River Valley about 20 miles an hour for that very gusty winds, and Highlands again about 30. So still very, very blustery and cold this evening, and all of that with the refreeze and a few snowflakes out on the road. It is another messy, wintry, gross night, a great night to stay inside. Now, we were mentioning those wind alerts a little bit earlier. You were looking at those wind graphs. Going to be blustery. So we do have a few wind alerts that are in place. Floyd County until 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. Carroll County and Grayson in the same boat. And that is also in effect for, again, that's into Carroll and Galax, the city of Galax, to go along with it. Until that is, let me just check on that again. There we go, about 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. So through the overnight hours, it will be very blustery and very cold. So we have the wind alerts, we have the winter weather alerts, and when we combine those temperatures and those wind speeds, wind chills this evening will be very bitter. This cutting wind that we are expecting overnight tonight feels like temperatures or that wind chill will drop down easily into widespread single digits and at least teens, if not widespread single digits. This is 11 o'clock this evening. Feeling like 17 tonight in Roanoke, 2 in Hot Springs, 11 in South Boston, 4 degrees in Independence tonight. Now, even as we head into Tuesday morning, I know some businesses and schools have already announced delays or closings, but if you are braving the elements tomorrow morning, this is what we're looking like about 8 o'clock for your Tuesday. It will feel like -7 in Hot Springs, -3, Blacksburg, Floyd County, -7, Hillsville, -6, Independence, -4. I mean, we have widespread negatives at this point. Not even are we talking about widespread single digits, but several localities going to feel like below 0. So be sure these next couple of days, even those feels like temperatures look a little bit scary, but our air temperatures as well will be dangerously cold as we head into these next couple of days. So be sure to bring those pets inside, check in on your elderly neighbors as this very, very cold conditions will be lasting throughout the next couple of days. That's our next pattern that will be settling in. Snowfall total. Switching gears a little bit, we have had a good amount of snowfall across the area. Not only the snowfall, but the sleet, the freezing rain, any and all precip types. We have been running the gamut. Snowfall totals that we have checked in so far, Pulaski and Roanoke right at that 2-inch mark, with Phil about just over the 3-inch mark, Ringgold about 1/2 inch, and Lynchburg 2.5 inches. But the further north of Route 416 in the Highland Zone, of course, received a little bit more snowfall. Hot Springs received 9 inches of that snow, that sleet accumulation. Covington just over the 7-inch mark. Daleville 3, same for Galax and Halifax, about 1 inch. So not only have we been dealing with the snowfall, but very icy conditions. And these ice totals, numbers like these, this is why we're seeing those widespread power outage numbers as well. So Christiansburg receiving about 1/2 inch of ice. Newport 1/4 inch. Stewart 3/10 of an inch. Fencastle about 1/10, and Galax just under that 1/2 inch mark. Across the board, it has been very, very icy, and the roadways, as a road conditions map that we were just watching, that certainly does reflect that. So we have had a good amount of those snow and ice totals. Now, we're not done just yet in terms of winter weather events or seeing some snowfall this evening. Very isolated instances. Again, the majority of the precip is out of our hair for tonight. Now, this is the pattern that we are watching in terms of very cold temperatures. So the upper atmospheric setup, we are in for that bitterly cold temperatures, really this pattern that we are going to continue to see as this system moves off of the coast. Very cold air will settle into the area. You'll notice we're kind of in that dark blue, if not the blue, where majority of the country is below average, but that little bit of dark blue going on right there you can notice that Roanoke is included in this, as well as kind of see the Highland zones and portions of the New River Valley. We are in the portion that is in that largest departure from normal. And we also have that concern for the snow and ice that is already on the ground, and that will also keep these temperatures on the cooler side. So all of it mixing together for a chilly couple of days, friends. This is going to be the time to bundle up. It certainly feels like we are settling into a very winter-like pattern. Now, this is a system that we have been tracking, and you'll notice that portion of purple that is highlighted right here, which has a good amount of us included in this. This is the best chance for that lingering icing right there we're watching because of what we have been talking about. Cold temperatures, already a lot of slush and wintry mess on the ground that as we head into the overnight hours each evening has that real chance for refreeze if you are not already having your driveway, the sidewalks, any sort of pathway shoveled out. And if there's any sort of slush remaining, kind of when you put that shovel up underneath the snowfall and then there's still a thin layer of slush, if you don't get that out of the way, that is what will be refreezing these next couple of nights because we are not warming up anytime soon, at least this week. It will still continue to be on the chillier side, and by chilly, we're talking low temperatures in the mid-teens at that. We'll get to that full forecast in just a minute, but I did want to hone in on futurecast for these next couple of hours. Again, we still have a few lingering snow showers, but the majority of the precip's out of our hair, and that will continue to taper off as we head into the day on Tuesday. So by midnight, futurecast does have us completely dry, and we'll continue to just see a few passing clouds, and tomorrow we're watching a little bit more cloud cover into the highland zones and the mountains of West Virginia, but the remainder of our 4 zones still looking to be fairly clear. Now, the majority of the precip is out of our hair, but Wednesday evening, and as shown here on Futurecast, can't rule out a few very isolated, very quick flurries for the highland zones into Greenbrier, Pocahontas County, West Virginia, as well as Allegheny and Bath. Might see just a little bit of those quick flurries, those upslope snow showers, but nothing major like we have been dealing with. Besides that Wednesday, we're still staying dry. And we will continue to dry things out tonight. So we are working towards the dry weather and getting this wintry mess out of here for now. Low temperatures this evening are going to be very chilly, into the teens and 20s. Tonight in Roanoke, dipping down into that 19-degree mark. Same for Bedford, Lynchburg 18, 15 in Independence, 13 in Hot Springs. And as we were just talking about, these temperatures, just the air temperature, so not the feels like. When we wake up tomorrow morning, most of the area will feel like below zero in some parts. So definitely the time to bundle up and prepare for that. Zone by zone forecast, your high temperatures for Tuesday. I can't help but chuckle at this because our normal temperature for this time of year, about 48 degrees, is our normal. So these temperatures a little bit below average this time of year. 20s and 30s for our high temperatures. 28 your high tomorrow in the New River Valley, 31 Highlands, 33 in Roanoke, 35 in Lynchburg, 37 in the South Side. Going to be a chilly evening, and that pattern is not lifting anytime soon. So you'll notice we are dry Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. High temperatures 20s and 30s each evening. We are in the teens. Now I'm going to put this out there. Chief Meteorologist Jeff Hanowich and I were just talking about this. We are watching the potential for some wintry precip, another winter weather event late Friday evening into Saturday. So still watching that closely and honing in on that forecast the next couple of days. But for now, my friends, we will stay cold and dry and working our way towards that dry pattern, at least for midweek, late week. We will keep you updated with the latest forecast. But for now, and go ahead and sign off. Be sure and stay warm and stay safe and stay off the roadways if you can.